Good evening, and it's a delight, I mean a real delight to see you children here today. Though I'm not directly prepared for a lecture for your age group, this knowledge is a part of your inheritance, your heritage from your ancient ancestors. So you're still in the right place at the right time, even at the right age. It is important for our people to know who they are, what they are, and where they are. In the whole of our culture, there are three major concepts, three ideas missing from all of the information we've received over the past 100 years, which kind of measures the intent of education of the African in America, approximately. Those three keys that are missing are: one, identity, self-knowledge, and self-revelation. Those are the three central keys to all of the learning that you will do from here onward. And when I say onward, I mean past the earth, past the sky, into the heavens, and onward. Discovering yourself is the great mystery of God. That learning process is supposed to begin on Mama's lap, who's supposed to know who she is, so she in turn can tell you who you are. However, what has been shown in the current events instead of our history, because our plight here in America is not the whole of our history, but a set of events, not beginning with the idea of slavery. You pre-existed that set of circumstances, but begins, of course, in the land referred to as Africa. What we want to find out is, where is the evidence that verifies our identity? And what is the concept that gives us an ethnocentric clarity of who and what we are? As you all have heard in part, a group of the names called the black family, some of the worst as well as some of the efforts to improve those derogatory insults. Africa and African is one of those concepts. There was a period of time the European referred to the African as the Ethiopian. Afro-American got to be a popular term around the 60s. Then, of course, lately it has been African-American. Prior to that, we had just become black and beautiful, which was probably the biggest lift up psychologically at that time, when Stokely Carmichael told a little boy, "You're black and you're beautiful. Now go tell somebody." And the little kid ran and told people that he was black and beautiful. And it caught on. That was in Jamaica. So the psychology of self-image gained a plus around that time. And we've been on that march upward ever since. And it's important that you think well of yourself, that you like yourself. It's involved in your ability to like those that look like you. And I don't know if you young people have noted, there are other young people without your name who look like you. You'll be amazed as you go onward. You'll look across the street and see somebody that looks like your sister. I remember in San Diego, California, this is about 15 years ago, and I was coming from Cleveland, Ohio at the time. I was coming down the street and I looked over and saw this guy standing over there. And I looked again. I said, "Is that Ray Simmons?" And I looked, "Man, that's Ray Simmons." And I ran across the street and hugged this guy, "Ray, hey man, what you doing out here?" And he ran back and looked at me and smiled because he knew what had happened, you know. Standing there, 2 or 3 inches from this guy's face, he still looked like Ray Simmons. You know, that's how much our blood is a part of each other's physiological development. That's where the concept ethnic identity comes from. It does not come from the country in which you are citizenized in. If you're from Brazil or England, France, Italy, Germany, it doesn't matter. Your mother keeps making the same dark skin, broad nose, thick lips, and furrowed hair, and the multiple variations thereof, which means light brown, high light brown, banana brown, golden brown. We make all the shades. See? That's blood, genetic coding, and biochemical makeup. I had this incident where I was watching a television show. I think it was Phil Donahue. And this woman, I had my back turned to the television. And Phil Donahue had asked a question, and he went down the audience to get a response from one of the viewers in the audience. And I had my back to the TV, and this woman started talking. She was saying, well, as far as I'm concerned, the things are not relevant. I'm thinking this is a British woman. And I turned around. Dark skin, broad nose, thick lips, and furrowed hair. But she sounded like a British citizen, you know. And the clarity came. It's not about the culture that you learn that makes up the constitution of who and what you are. It is your blood, your genetics, your biology. Okay? First concept. The second is, what is the name that we all ethnocentrically share? Well, let me give some concepts here. This comes from the Latin word, Africanus. This comes from the ancient African word, Iapi. Of course, this is an abbreviation of this concept here. And I'm wondering if any of you children have read this word in the dictionary. You have? Have you? Okay. Because it's a mixed concept. There's a positive and a huge negative. That's where part of the complex, that part of the thinking that began to make dark-skinned people feel less than acceptable, less than equal, less than talent, less than powerful than someone else, because of what this language had done with this concept. So it was left for us to redefine this psychologically, you see. We've done a fairly decent job of that. Of course, a lot of other stuff has gotten in the way. But these are, in a word, misnomers. That's a Latin word for misnaming, okay? First of all, no one else can name you outside of your group. They can call you something, but that's not your ethnocentric name. The reason for that is that this idea here is so important that it should be explained in the first grade. No, it's not. This word is not explained to you in school. because this is what it means in terms of knowing who you are. Name means nature. Your name tells you about your nature, about your abilities, your talents, your power, how you function, what you're able to achieve, what you came here with to succeed. That's how important name is. The real philosophical idea of name and self is that you were born to succeed. Nature intended for you to achieve and succeed on this plane of existence. It is a part of your spiritual as well as your physical and mental inheritance from the Creator. However, it can be sabotaged. It can be disrupted, interfered with. And that's exactly what has happened to our ancestors. And we are suffering the aftermath of that disruption, interruption. There's no such thing as a slave master's name. First of all, they were not our ancestors' masters. They were our ancestors' imprisoners. Before one becomes enslaved, the first thing you have to do is capture that individual. Then after capturing them, you have to put them in a state of imprisonment so that they cannot flee. Those are the conditions that took place before this whole idea of being a slave transpired or happened in the minds of our ancestors. You see? But again, that's not the beginning of your history. It's not even your history. At best, it could be called our current events. You see? We're not looking for this. As I know, the lady and gentleman know what that word means. No, it means
his story.
His story. That's exactly what that word means. Okay. See it there? His, and then story. That's what he's telling, his story. What we're looking for is this. That's what we're looking for. Records of the past. What your parents achieved, what they succeeded at, what they accomplished, the wealth that they found, the things that they invented, the powers that they demonstrated, the discovery of how they healed each other and one another, how they discovered the valuables of the earth. Those are the records of the past. And how they control and develop their lives in a civilized manner. The rules and the regulations they laid down to live by. Because human beings cannot make laws. Nature makes laws. The universe makes laws. That which we call God makes laws. Laws are fixed and cannot be changed. Rules and regulations change every day. It used to be a time when you couldn't go to the corner on red and turn right. Now you can. So we know that's not a law. Okay. This is the concept that brings us to a clarity about the other misnamings that we don't find available in our bookstores, in school, and certainly not our churches, and most of our homes do not have books that deal with this particular ethnocentric name. Yes. But if you turn to the dictionary and turn to the B's, not the M's first, you will find right after the word black elder, you will find this word. I'm going to abbreviate it. It's abbreviation for black. Blackamoor. Okay. The description it gives in the dictionary is African, dark-skinned person. Okay? That's descriptive. That's not a definition. When you turn to the concept more in the M's, it will say anyone living in North Africa. Okay? So that's any European, any Chinese, any, you know. So we know that's not a clarity in terms of ethnocentric descent. In the Bible, you will find this word. Mizraim. Okay. As one of the sons of this man. Yes, whose name is not Ham. But Cam, which is often pronounced right. Kim or Kim. Whose name is not Cam or Kim, but is found in this man's name. Right. Hammurabi. Yes, you've heard that name before. You haven't? Well, you'll hear it again. When you add the K, you have Kamur Rabi. Yeah, that's Ham. Okay. This means black fire, which is spirit. This is right. That's your ethnocentric name, Lord of the Earth. When you see a European wearing this fez, he's saying he's you. He gets initiated into a Masonic order that patterns itself after the cultural knowledge of your ancient ancestors. It was given to him by some of your ancestors who came out of North Africa into Spain, then into Germany, Italy, and France, and gave the concept of what they now call the Masonic Lodge or the Masonic Order to Europeans in order that they might lay a civilized foundation for the European. The books I want to refer to are Nature Knows No Color Line by J.A. Rogers and The Golden Age of the Moors by Ivan van Sertima, The Moors in Spain by Stanley Lane Poole. Those are the three major books available at this time dealing with this unknown, omitted, left out history of your past. Okay. The country that you live in is run by a Masonic government. How can I prove that? All you need to do is to pick up a dollar bill and look on the back of it. You'll find a pyramid on the back of an American dollar bill. What is an African building doing on American money is the first question one could and probably should ask oneself if they're curious enough, in terms, again, of a subject matter that you won't get much of in school. That's called symbology. The language of nature is symbology. In that body of secret information is the knowledge that you're supposed to have in your mind as you grow and develop, that tells you who you are, what you are, where you are, and from whence you have come. That's how important hidden knowledge is, how important it is and attached to this concept here. This concept is in the Bible, but it's not stated as more, it's defined. Another way you hide something, you don't put the word there, you just define it. Okay? No, that's the way the surname is spelled. This is the old spelling of more. You're right. This word here is the same as this word here. Right. This is the Latin spelling of that word. Mar. Yes. Yeah. There's a book that in the footnote gives this concept here. Let me put it here. No, Freimar. Yes, This is German. This is Latin. Now the writer of that book, a woman named Elizabeth Cooper Baker, who was an Eastern Star, said this meant Freemason, and it doesn't. This is the Latin word for this. It means free more. You have a concept of that in this country's Masonic order called free and acceptable Mason. That's the free and accepted more. Okay? Now I'm giving you the hidden part because it enhances the clarity of what history provides for you to appreciate. History, or the records of the past, helps to correct our thinking, how we view ourselves in a mirror, and how we view each other. If I can look at you and see something of value in you and in myself, I am less likely to want to harm you and more likely to want to help you. But if I look at you and see no value in what I see, I'm most likely willing to harm you than help you. That's how important self-knowledge is. See? Plus, it gives valuableness to your humanity when you're able to define yourself and to define those in your personal world, those whom you claim to love. You should know something about them. From name to birth date to ethnic descent. You see? That's all involved in what we claim to be loving one another and loving ourselves. I know this isn't as exciting as some games might be if we were into games, but I want to lay a foundation, then we're going to play a little name game. I'm turning towards the evidence of a very important key that interconnects what I just explained to you with the scriptures. And I often say this to my group, this is the book that black folks have at home, and it's the only book as a people that we have. We may not have the dictionary at home, but you can bet 9 times out of every 10 houses and apartments the Bible is there, and we know least about it. Began reading it, John 10:31 to 36. If you will.
You want me to
yes, sir.
Then the Jews took up stones again to stone him. Jesus answered them, "Many good works have I showed you from my Father. For which of those works do ye stone me?" The Jews answered him, saying, "For a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, and because that thou, being a man, makest thyself God." Jesus answered them, "It is not written in your law, I said, ye are gods. If he called them gods, unto whom the word of God came, and the scripture cannot be broken."
Okay, stop there. Did anybody hear the key there? What did you hear, young man, that you had not heard before?
He was asking him why he stoned him.
Okay. What else did you hear that you had not heard before? Or did you hear it? Read it again.
Read it again?
Yes, I think it's important.
Then the Jews took up stones again to stone him. Jesus answered them, "Many good works have I shown you from my Father. For which of those works do you stone me?" The Jews answered him, saying, "For a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, and because that thou, being a man, makest thyself God." Jesus answered them, "Is it not written in your law, I said, ye are gods?"
Stop. Now read that again.
Jesus answered them, "Is it not written in your laws, I said, ye are gods?"
Have you heard that before? Okay. Now the scripture that he's talking about in terms of the scriptures cannot be changed, and it is written in your law, is found in Psalm 82, verse 5. Read that for us. Psalm 82, verse 5.
They know not, neither will thou understand it. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
Go on.
I have said ye are gods, and all of ye are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes.
Read that again.
But ye shall die like
No,
men.
not that. Go back to godhood.
I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High.
Stop right there. Did you hear it again? Okay. That you are a god.
That you're God, right.
That's right. That's exactly right. Now what verifies that in the sermonette of the gospel that most Christians hear on Sunday is found in John chapter 1, verse 12. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the Son of God. That's what they hear. And they take that to mean a good Christian. Okay? You can't be the son of God unless you're a God. You can't be the son of a man unless you're a man. You can't be the daughter of a woman unless you're a woman. By nature is what I'm explaining. See? You can't take two parts and put together something to be perfect. You have to already be perfect. Perfect means one unit that does not diminish, does not change. It only expands. This is the code meaning of the three letters written in English that we all thought, including myself for a time, was God's name. Okay? This is what this code means. I'm going to abbreviate it, save time. Generator, operator, destroyer. That's what these three letters represent. Generator, that's your brain that generates energy, fire, and light. Operator, that's your soul that generates light, power, and intelligence, peace, joy, love, happiness. Destroyer, that's your sacral vertebrae, this bone here. In that structure is fire and cords called the kundalini that come up your spine and attaches itself to your spine, to your brain. When those three lights are on in your body, at that moment, you're becoming God. And you'll be becoming God forever. There's no ending to becoming God, because God goes into infinity. That's your nature. That's your inheritance. That's why you're here. Not to serve the white boy. You're here to inherit your godhood and goddesshood, which is what today's lecture was supposed to be about. The book of Esther, the book of the goddess. But this will do nicely. So we have an established premise of who we are, what we are, and where we are. Where are we? Yes, we are. Very good. We're also some other places at the same time. We're in Georgia. We're in the north. That's the top of your head. You're in the south. That's the bottom of your feet. You're in the east. That's the front of your body and inside. You're in the west. That's your back. That's what this represents. Has nothing to do with crucifixion. It has to do with identification. The cross. The four gates. The four points of direction. Now look at this word of these 4 points. This is what it spells. Isn't that interesting? And to find out that you're God is certainly good news. Okay? All right. That's the first foundation of this book. This book, now this is going to shock you, is not about Jesus. This book is about you. Yes. Isn't that shocking? How do we know that? By two concepts, two words that we're familiar with when added to this concept here. No, not testimony, testament. Now this is the Latin word from which this concept comes from. Testamenti. Mind. Yes. Now look at this. Old body, old mind. New body, new mind. That's what this book is about. It's about your nature. Your physical nature and your spiritual nature. When you get the keys to read it for knowledge and not for belief. There are 66 books in this Bible. How much is 6 and 6?
12.
Very good. I knew you were smart. How many hours of daylight are there?
24.
No, daylight. Divide 24.
22.
No, divide it in half.
12.
Very good. 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of night. Well, let me finish this before I get to the other one here. You all were born, at least most of you probably, maybe some of you were born in 9 months, right? How many numbers are there in arithmetic? Yes. You're going to be shocked again. Aren't you learning arithmetic?
No.
You're not learning how to count?
12. Oh, 12.
No, they're not 12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
They're only 9. Because when you get past 9, Zero is not a number. It neither adds up anything or subtracts from anything. So when you get to 11, that's 2 ones. When you get to 12, that's a 1 and a 2, which is already counted in the 9. These are the 9 numbers. That's not a number. This is ought. Yes, dear.
Isn't like Miss 10 and the 9 one who could only have 9 if she has 10, she gives one of them to the other one?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah, you just to get 10, you just take this number and add it to a 0. To get 20, you take this number and add it to a 0. 30, okay. If you want 12, you bring these 2 numbers, but they're the same numbers, not the same amount, but the same numbers. Yes. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Why is it that the computer system they're using the number 8? Everything that they do, that they operate off, has the number 8 coded in. They operate the same way that the 9 seems to be working here for the system of numbers. But they're using the 8.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah. What do you want to do? Okay. Raise it up a little bit? Okay. Okay, let's stick with the 9 here so that we get a clarity what we're talking about. That's the circle. How many? 360 degrees. Okay, what's 3, 6, and 0? Very good. So we see this 9 is constant throughout. That's what this book is based upon, in sum total. It is based upon the circle of 12. You see?
I get the circle of 12.
Let me give you this concept, though it may be a little bit difficult to grasp. Maybe I can enhance it by showing this particular chart. This is the circle of zodiac. Okay, hold on a second. Let me turn it right side up.
That's upside.
Oh, I've got it upside down? I'm trying to look from, okay, very good. Oh, thank you. This is the circle of zodiac, a representation of the 12 starry constellations in the heavens. Okay? The first thing it is a zodiac chart, not an astrology chart. The first thing I want to make clear, because this book, and I do this simplistically so that there be no mistake of what I'm saying, this book is based on this side, okay? And I'm going to prove it to you. Yes, dear?
What is the B, A, and B?
Just what you see there. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did you see a D there? Well, then that's 4. We'll get to that in a minute. That's a very good question, by the way. Shows you're paying attention here. Now, here's what I want you to do. Come here, young lady. Stand here and hold this for me. Get right behind here and hold it for me. Just for a minute. Bring your hands all the way over to the end of it. Don't tear it. Always to the end. Okay, now bring this one all the way to the end. Now, just for a second, I want you to hold it there for. You've heard the preacher say, and you've read in the Bible if you have, Noah built the ark and brought in all the animals, 2 by 2, right? Okay, all right, good. Thank you, dear. Thank you very kindly for that. Now, by the way, you were just on television. Made your debut. Well, I could have done it with that, but I want to do it this way. When Noah built the ark, this is the ark that Noah built. Now look at these two words. No, this is the one that the Bible mentions. Ark. That's all right. Let her think. I like that. She's a thinker. You can't stop that. She's going to think. Hold the mouth if you want her. She's going to think. This letter and this letter are interchangeable. Some people spell their name Catherine with a C. Some people spell their name Catherine with a K. They're interchangeable. Okay? That's what happened here in this secret language, this code language in this book. So the ark that they're talking about is not a boat or a ship. It's 180 degrees of a circle. That's the ark. Okay? Now, in all the animals, no, leave it there, sorry. All the animals come in That's right, dear. 2 by 2. She's going to think, so don't get used to it, because it ain't going to stop. And that's important, that we have children who think. But it's also important to obey. All the animals, 2 by 2. Now this is an astronomy chart, and I'm trying to find the ram here. I'll have it in just a second.
Your right hand is right on.
Right.
My right hand?
Correct.
No, that's the goat.
Okay.
Here's the ram down here. This is the ram here. The curled horns is the ram. Okay? The ram and Libra. Libra in the Bible is the donkey. Okay, I can prove that to you in Genesis chapter 49. But here, the symbol that's given for Libra is this symbol here. That's a harness that goes over the donkey's back when he's carrying a heavy load on each side of his body. Okay, that's what that represents. This represents the strap that goes under his belly. Now it's right in the Bible under the name of Issachar. I don't know if we'll get to that today or not. But anyway, those are the 2 first animals. Then the next 2 is Taurus, the bull, right where my finger is. And Scorpio, the scorpion, but this is an astronomy chart, so Scorpio is the eagle. It's called Aquila in astronomy. But in the astrology chart, it's called a scorpion. Those born in the month of October the 23rd to November the 23rd are Scorpio births. Okay? But with the point I'm making here are the 2 animals. 2 by 2. Each sign has an opposite. All of them represent from the human animal to the 4-legged animal and the 2-legged animal. Okay? Those are all the animals in that book. Okay? If you want to know how Adam named all the animals, he only names 12. Okay? But that's the ark that Noah built. That's the foundation of order on this planet in terms of time, in terms of the 4 seasons that your ancient ancestors mapped out over 100,000 years ago. They knew when vegetables were going to grow and when they were not going to grow. They knew when this huge river called the Nile was going to flow upstream. 4,100 miles of fresh water, gold, the richest soil in Africa, flowed up and dumped itself in this area called the Delta. That's what kept that group of Africans in that area for a long period of time, because they could reassure themselves they would be able to plant, reap food to eat. And what Dr. Henry Clark said I approve of very much, that's when the African could sit down and think. When he didn't have to worry about the food that was coming. When he knew when it was going to rain. When he knew when the cold weather was coming. He'd gotten so expert he could determine when sandstorms were about to happen. Then he knew to go inside and stay inside. That's how intelligent, if not brilliant, your ancestors were. Okay? But I want to keep to the system that I'm speaking of here in terms of identity, in terms of self-knowledge, and the valuableness of knowing who you are. Because in those 9 letters, as in this great circle, everyone is known. Yes, everyone is known. Let me do this right now. Now, well, let me do this too, so to make it clear. We want to know what we're talking about here. That's all right, let's stay down here. Now you have to give this back. I want you to read something for me. Hold that. You got to give it back. let her have one. Okay. Thank you, dear. Okay, that should be good enough. Now, what I want you to do is turn it towards the face. The other side. Yes, where the face is. You'll see a letter there. You see that letter? What's your letter, young lady in the red?
G.
G? Now what's the number to your left next to your G there? What's the number? 7? Now watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See that? Listen. Now what's your letter? B. Now what's the number next to your B? 1, 2. Now, what's your letter? F. What's the number next to your letter? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what's yours? E. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Number 5.
Okay, that's numerology on the money. Okay, all right. Now I want to explain something to you while we're talking about money, because the Americans' money has been the biggest successful currency on the planet. That's how it is. On all of the money, these are the numbers on all of the money that you will ever have in this country. The rest are zeros. Those are the only 3 numbers. 5 and 2 is 7 and 1 is 8. This is the number of big business, success, and money. 8. Big business, success, and money is the number 8. If you're born on any number equaling an 8, you're going to be successful. He raised his thumb. Okay? That's what numerology can tell you. Now, What's your first name, young lady?
Mia.
Spell your name.
N.
Go on. A? Very good. Nia. Now I got to erase some of this because we're running out of space here. Nia is 5, 9, and 1. That's what your name equals in numbers. 5 and 9 is 14 and 1 is 15. She likes to help. And she talks because she likes to give advice. She's smart. She's helpful. She's friendly. That's a good young lady.
So it's 15.
15 equals a 6. She's artistic. Let her draw. Let her paint. Okay? You can't stop her from talking. And she's going to give you some advice as to whether you want it or not. That's how her mind works. That's a mental key. The first name of every human being is the measure of their mental key, how they think. What's your first name, young man? Okay, well, we don't need to do yours that way since you're a little old. I got to erase some of this. Well, we all know the alphabet. We all know there are only 9 numbers. So we've set the foundation, what we're talking about. Spell your name for me. Minette, that's your name? Oh, wow, man. All right. Mama done hooked you up.
Equals 4 equals 5. 4 and 5 is 9.
Okay, add it up.
And 1 is
10 and 1 is...
20.
No, you don't have to guess with math now. Huh? All right, let's do it this way. 1... Now, listen, we're going to let you do it. This is what?
1,
And this is what?
5,
1 and 5 is what?
6.
6 and 5 is what? You said it before.
6 and 5, 11.
Very good. 11 and 5 is what?
16.
Very good. And 16 and 4 is what?
20.
Very good. 20. He's a 2. Very compassionate, very warm, very caring, very helpful. He likes peace and order. Okay? He doesn't like fighting. He'll break up the fights among the kids. He doesn't like that. Very smart, very intuitive. He feels while others think. He can tell what people are thinking by his feelings. He loves music and probably has musical talent. Yeah, okay. Very good. What's your first name, son? G? M? B? Gamba. Very good. All these African, Egyptian names. I love it. All right, let him delineate his own name. Go on. That's a 2. 4 and 3. Come on, you know it.
4 and 3. 7.
Very good. And 1 and 7 and 8. 15. Another 6. He's just like her. They get along, they talk, but they'll fight because one will want to be right while the other one has to be wrong. You know? Both are creative. Help them find their talents. The key to success in the Western Hemisphere is talent. How do we know that? Because we see them giving all this money to our most talented black men and women, don't we? But there are other talents besides basketball, football, baseball, and acting, singing. There are thousands of other talents. Bike riding is a skill. The talent you have, you'll already know how to do it. You just have to keep on doing it till you get better at doing it. It'll come from inside of you, in your imagination. That's talent. When you learn something from the teacher, from the instructor, from the preacher, from parents, from mama, from daddy, that's skill. Math, that's a talent, but you got to go way inside to draw it out. But it's in there. You're right. It is a talent. Yes. You raising your hand?
Question. It don't have nothing to do with what you're talking about now, but it's about the dollar bill. What is the significance of the number 13 on the dollar?
It is that it represents a particular vibration. 13 is the 13th letter. Okay, let me put it this way. M and D. Okay? This is the 13th letter of the alphabet. That's your birthday? This is a fortunate number. That is not, has nothing, never will, never did have anything to do with bad luck. They said it was bad luck, so they would hide it. This means secret knowledge, hidden knowledge, and hidden power. That's what 13 represents. Okay? On that same bill, listen carefully, on that same bill, the number of bricks of that building called the pyramid are 13 stones. The number of colonies of the Union were 13 states. So we know it's not bad luck. So don't think of it being bad luck. But it gives you the preposition of and the proposal of making decisions. You see? You're always going to get the left side and the right side of every argument. That's how the 13-4 thinks. Now he'll do work. If you tell him to do something, he'll get him to do it. You know, he doesn't mind working. If he gets his talent in order, he not only will work, but he'll work for himself, which means he'll get rich. Okay? That's the way that 13 is very responsible. They're willing to make the extra effort to get things done. Okay, he may not be as responsible as he will be as he matures and grows and develops. Yes, dear?
What's that under what, above Washington, D.C., that's D.C.
I want to show you something
What's that?
very interesting. Look at George Washington on there. Take 5 seconds and look at that. Who doesn't have one over there? Okay. Now you keep yours because I want you to look too. You keep yours and look. Now look at it. Look at the face. Now look at yours, young lady. Oh, look at it. Look at it real carefully. Now look at that. I want you to look at it. I want you to see what's there. That's the reason I'm telling you to look at it. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Now look up. See anything interesting?
Ouch.
No. What do you see? All right. Yeah. You see it yet? Let's see if he sees it. You see it? You see it? Right. Yes. They presented him as a pharaoh. Yes.
I think it's Tony Brown's book, If the Siphon Bowl.
He may have. Yeah. Tony may well. You're right. That's very good. Yes.
But he didn't get into what you just did. I've been through that book, and he didn't illustrate what you just did.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's kind of it. Tony was introducing this symbological code. I heard he had a wonderful opportunity in Washington. The lady on the television program gave him her whole program. She was so impressed with what he knew. She gave him the whole program to talk about this knowledge. You know.
Kathy Hughes?
I don't know who it was. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, we'll take yours. What's your name? Huh? Alfie? Spell it. A. F. I. Was that right? Very good. Okay. 1, 6, and 9. Isn't that something? Yeah. That's 16. 7. Natural mystic. She'll have great dreams and visions. Very intuitive. A great deal of insight. born with a spiritual consciousness. She can tell when people are lying and when they're telling the truth just by listening to them. Okay? Very creative. Doesn't care too much about things and money, but she probably will eventually. But she has an inheritance of this ability to bring out inner wisdom. That's 7. Inner wisdom. See? By knowing, if she continues to trust herself. This word here is the Latin word for faith. It does not mean believe. It means confidence in yourself. It's right there in the dictionary. Photios, faith, means confidence in yourself. In the God, not only who is in you, but the God who is you. Because that's the God that's going to go forward with you. And the only being that shall be with you forever is the God that is within you. Yes, dear?
The question was, Washington, D.C., the thing above it, 358701308.
Oh, you mean the serial code? That's the numbers of the group of money that came out at the same time. They have all a similar set of numbers equating from, like at the end of the number 98, there'll be another bill that says 99, there'll be another bill that says 00, and then start counting again. That's how they keep track of each dollar, each piece of paper money, as they manufacture and produce these notes of certification. Yeah, 10 minutes? Okay. Huh? What's your name? Oh, is that right? Okay, spell it for me. Husia. Okay. 8 3 1 9 1 10 11 14 and 8.
22. That's right.
Master number. This is the master builder. Yeah. And I want you all to understand it. These numbers are real. It's a lot of fun, but that's what you came back here with. Your name simply tells you what you already have. This is creativity. This is big dreams and visions. You can and should and will want to and should complete building something. Achieving whatever you set your mind to, you can and will achieve. That's what this number tells me about you.
Can I just make a statement?
Yes, dear.
It seems that we've gotten far away from this order of thinking.
Yes.
But when I look back at my ancestors, I had a very powerful set of grandparents
Okay.
and great-grandparents who went into this type
Very
of
good.
numerology.
Okay.
And I have memories. I have a little bit of it. In fact,
Yes.
I used to do a little numerology back in the day.
Very good.
And they would just plan their whole lives, and everything was based on people, and they detected people, and everything was done by numbers.
Okay.
My grandparents always had paper and pencil figuring out people's name, and
Yes.
they set their day up based on a lot of
Very good,
numerology.
very good.
And it was all, for me growing up with that, it was always
Well, you know what got it away from us? Believing
Yeah,
instead of knowing.
yeah,
You see?
that's right.
Okay, that's as far as.
One thing with me with the name, I just want.
Well, let me say this. I do numerology charts.
Okay.
Now, what I'll do, if you want their charts done, I'll do each one of them for $20 a piece. I charge $65. But since you got such a group, I'll give you this group rate of $20 per chart. And I'll give you my card so that you can get in touch with me. We're going to do some affirmations at the end of it. What we usually do is meditate. But with your age group, you need to set your thinking on positive ideas about yourself. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, well, I can't do them all today. We've run out of time and we've run out of tape. So,
How do you figure out these numbers?
well, each letter equals a number. Each number equals a letter. That was the code I was showing you. By setting up and counting 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D, E, F, 4, 5, 6. It's simple, but it can tell you more than simplicity. Okay, thank you, dear. Okay.
Positive thinking is the way you condition your mind, your brain to succeed.
See, Freeman, turn it on too. The microphone. Is it on?
How's that? Is that any better?
Yeah, that's good.
That too?
Yeah, that's good right there.
Okay.
More than you pray, you think. The mind never stops thinking. You pray for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and that's good. I'm not knocking prayer. But the best of prayer is what's called affirmative prayer, where you claim, decree, and declare that which you so desire. That's how you get everything that you have. Most of you all say, I wish I had. And you start wishing mentally. And you wish so mentally, so hard, you can see yourself with it. And in comes Daddy with the thing you want, or the money to get it. But you do it in your mind. That's everything. Whatever the mind conceives, the mind will achieve. Whatever the mind conceives, whatever the mind sees, the mind will achieve. That's how the mind works. That's how God's mind works, and that's how your mind works. If you stay in tune with the divine mind, you'll always be successful, always be protected, and always be guided aright. The best of blessings is to be divinely guided. See? That means around all mistakes. That means you get to the right job. You get to class on time. You find the right book. You get the right answer to the question. See? Because sometimes the teacher asks a question and you get so used to not knowing, you tell your brain, I don't know. And you do know. So tell your brain, I do know the answer. What is it? And wait. And lo and behold, your mind will give you the answer. That's how smart you really are. You see? So what we're going to affirm is our divinity. Based on G-O-D and based on, what did I do with my... Yes, I want you to see this other code word. An M-A-N. Master, able, and noble is what man really means. So when you become a man, this is what you're shooting for. Not just a job, not just a car, not just a girlfriend. To master your mind and your body, to have the ability to achieve, succeed, and perform, and to have the nobility, the integrity, to be honest, trustworthy, and looking for right and good in everything that you do, in dealing with all the people that you meet, know, and come to love. That's what a man is. The first man is womb man. That's her. Woman is the first man. We'll get to that next class. Okay, but we're going to affirm G-O-D and M-A-N with the statement of the great words in English, I am. Whatever you add to I am, that's what you're becoming. If you say I am sick, I don't know, I don't have, that's what you're telling your mind not to give you. Telling your mind to make you sick, even if you're not sick. Don't want to go to school that morning? Mama, I'm sick. And you keep telling yourself that, you'll get sick. Okay? Whatever the mind conceives, gives birth to in here, your mind will achieve, good or ill. Okay? Keep that in mind. That's important to know that. That's the law of mind in action. I am, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer. I am. I am, M-A-N, master, able, and noble. I am. Okay. Sit up straight in your chair. Put your leg down, young lady. Place your hands on your lap, close your eyes, and think of yourself at the center of yourself. That's right in the middle of your chest. That's where you are in your body as a soul, as a divine being. Now, let me affirm it first, then we'll do it together. I am, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer. I am. Together. I am, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer. I am. Again. I am, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer. I am. Again. I am, G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer.
I am.
Very good. Now rest for a second. Now, I am, M-A-N, master, able, and noble. I am. Together. I am, M-A-N, master, able, and noble. I am. Again. I am, M-A-N, master, able, and noble. I am. Again. I am, M-A-N, master, able, and noble. I am. Rest. Love, peace, and power. And so it is. Together. Love, peace, and power. And so it is. Okay, Moors. The day's work is finished. Bless you all. Thank you, dear.